In this video, we are excited to share our digital Nomad packing list with you. It basically covers a bunch of items, everything a remote worker needs to stay productive on the road as they're hopping from country to country. Plus, it all fits into one 33-liter pack. I'm Tom, the founder of Pack Hacker, and we love helping people optimize their travel experience with guides and reviews and packing lists just like this one. So if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. First, a couple details on this list. Everything is listed out over on packhacker.com in an easier to digest format. This video is quite long, so if you want to follow along, open that up in another browser tab or just bookmark that for later. It's a way easier way to see the entirety of this list quickly. Everything on this list fits inside of the bag, which is great, so we're not really accounting for clothing that you'd wear, even though you'd probably pick out an outfit, the shoes from the bag itself, and leave yourself some extra room while you're on the road. The intention of this video is to give you a framework to follow to create your own perfect list. So me and the Pack Hacker team have put this list together. We think it's really great for a remote worker, but just use it as a framework and adapt it to your style. We definitely don't expect you to go buy everything in one go. That would be really expensive unless you're just flush with cash and you don't know what to do with it. It's better to take the items that make sense to you, that you really like, and slowly upgrade your travel system and perfect it for you. For this packing list, we chose the 33-liter Air Travel Pack 2. It's one of the highest rated bags on our website. Any pack of similar size and dimensions will do for this list though. This bag is small enough to still look good as a daily carry. It compresses down pretty well, and it's gonna be a great option to just kind of get to the hotel, Airbnb, wherever it is you're staying, empty out your packing cubes of your clothing, then have all your tech and work stuff here and just be ready to head to the co-working space or the coffee shop, wherever you end up working for the day. The design aesthetic of this pack looks professional enough and does not scream tourist. So it's not like you're rolling into a meeting or meeting a potential colleague with a bright orange hiking pack. It's got a subdued, professional look. It's a durable, slick choice and a pleasure to travel with. If you want to learn more about the Air Travel Pack 2, be sure to check out our full review. So we're gonna kick it off with the clothing and accessories, and that's everything that you see here on the table in front of me. Starting off with boxer briefs, these are the Wool-X Dailies, and the great thing about these is that they have a specially colored fabric on them so you can tell the difference. So this one's gray, and then you have orange right here, and then this one is pure black. So if you wanna keep a more kind of minimalistic color, monochromatic scheme, as you can see here, that's what we've gone for. Darker colors tend to work really well for travel, but having that colored strip enables you to know what you've been wearing for the last couple of days and what you need to wash. So you can kind of come up with a mental model based on the color. These are the Darn Tough Tactical Socks, and they are made of merino wool. They're thin enough so they're comfortable, yet they're thick enough to be durable and they hold up well. If anything does go wrong, there's a lifetime warranty on these socks as well, which is pretty crazy. On the pants and the shorts front, there is one pair of Oliver's Passage pants. Then we have the Outlier Slim Dungarees. These are classic for travel, all black. And then we have the Outlier New Way shorts as well. So with these three pairs of bottoms, you're just good to go for any situation. Pants are pretty self-explanatory. They look good. They look professional enough. Now with the Outlier New Way shorts, these are stretchy enough to wear for a workout. They're a little bit stiff for that, but you can wear them in the pool. You can wear them as shorts, and they still look decent enough as well just to be wearing around the town. So this one pair of shorts does it all. This is a belt from GQ. I've personally had it for about 3 years. Honestly, just haven't found a really great lightweight travel belt. This one's pretty minimalistic, so we'll update the list over at packhacker.com with that once we find a great belt replacement. We have 2 t-shirts going on with this packing list. The first is the Outlier Runway Merino Tee, and this thing is great for working out or running in, or it's breathable when you need something a little bit thinner and a little bit lighter. So it's 50% polyester and 50% merino wool for odor resistance. And then we have this pocket tee. It's another merino tee from Wool & Prints. The thing I like about this personally is that it's striped and it has a pocket on it. So it looks like a little bit next level, yet it's still a comfortable t-shirt to wear. So you definitely have some great versatility there. For a long sleeve base layer, we have the Wool & Prints Heavy Crew Neck. And this thing is great because it's thick enough to wear as a nice comfy base layer. However, you can wear it as a standalone shirt as well, and it looks decently polished. Next up, we have the Outlier Albini Merino Wool Button-Up, and it's just one singular black button-up, looks really slick and wears really well, so that does well for any nicer occasions that you need to be attending. For footwear, we have two things going on. The first is the Vivo Barefoot Gobi 2. I've personally been wearing these for about 3 years straight. I've gone through 2 pairs in those 3 years. They're really lightweight and minimalistic and flexible. We are overdue for re-reviewing these. But the thing I like about them is that they have a polished enough look to where you can wear them out to like a semi-nice dinner or something like that. And then they also perform well for any hiking that you're gonna be doing. And they're a little bit higher, so they have more of a boot or a chuckle look. And then they're also good for like keeping sand out of your shoes if you're gonna be wearing them on the beach or you're gonna be riding around a motorcycle. You get some additional protection there from the shoe. Next up, we have the Earthrunner Elemental Minimalistic Sandal. And these things are super minimal. Definitely gonna get some weird looks as you're wearing these, but the benefit is totally there if you can pull it off. These are great for lounging around in, wearing to the beach, or even wearing them running if you prefer a more minimalistic barefoot style run like I do. For accessories, there's a Nike sweatband. This thing is super thin and one of the smallest that we've been able to find. And then we get to the GoRuck Tack Hat. So it is a Velcro hat, one hat, and multiple styles. So it's really great if you want to switch out the style for a day. Easy enough to do that with a Velcro patch. So one is just stored under here. You've got the Stay Rad going on, and you can just pop that right on to the cap and then store your other patch down here at the bottom. So definitely have a collection of patches. Love that this thing enables me to change up my style just by switching out the patch versus bringing multiple hats. With all this gear, I wanted to make sure that you were good down to lower temperatures. So selected a lot of outerwear. A lot of this stuff can be layered and you'll be fine down to a temperature of about 10 degrees Fahrenheit. We've got the Patagonia Micro Puff here that packs really small, is lightweight, and super comfortable to wear, also keeps you warm. For a layer under that, we have the Icebreaker Merino Wool Shifter Zip Hoodie. And this is great because it gives you a hood. The Micro Puff does as well, so you can double up there for extra warmth, and it's super comfortable to wear around just as a standalone hoodie as well. Then we have the Patagonia Storm Racer, which is an ultralight rain shell and is good for any inclement weather. For neck and head warmth, we have the Buff USA Merino Wool Buff. If you've seen any other of our videos here on Pack Hacker, you'll know that I wear a buff all the time, and this is the one. And then for hands, we have the Outdoor Research Merino Wool Fairbanks Fingerless Gloves. Fingerless gloves are nice so you can access your tech or really anything else quite easily. We also have these Roab sunglasses, so they are extremely small and extremely packable. So we'll just take those out, unfold them. However, there's one catch. There's really no curvature to the lens, so it does look a little bit weird and takes a bit of getting used to at first. It's a very minor detail, but one that you'll need to pay for a pair of sunglasses that compress this much. All this gets packed up with a combination of the Peak Design packing cubes and the Air Travel Pack 2 itself. So these cubes are gonna go right inside of the bag, as is the hat, as is the buff and the Outdoor Research gloves. The Roab sunglasses are gonna go right into the Heim Planet Transit Travel Line sling. So we'll just slip those in. There's a nice spot exactly for sunglasses. And we're gonna fill this thing up with more items once we go along, and I'll fill you in a little bit more about it as we go along into the list. And then we have the Air Travel Kit, which is gonna hold the Nike sweatband. So let's just pop that right in here. We'll get more into this bad boy in a second. I'm just gonna set it down on the side for now. So that's it for clothing and accessories. Let's move on to the next section. Digital nomads do a ton of work on the road, so it's important that everything is streamlined and optimized with all the equipment and tech stuff needed to get work done. Let's start off with the 15-inch MacBook Pro over here on the side with the standard neoprene case from Incase. So that's just your workhorse, it's your lifeline, it's how you work and how you get paid on the road, so it's important that you have a good laptop. Next up, we have the Roost stand, and this is really great if you're planning on working long stints remotely. It's nice to have some elevation in that laptop, and then that's paired along with the keyboard here, which is inside a neoprene Roost sleeve, which is sized specifically for the Apple keyboard as well. And then we've got Apple Magic Mouse, which is slim and low profile for the road. Amazon Kindle with this origami case for any reading that needs to be done on the road. And if you want to stand it up, you just fold it like this. And there you go. Now you've got a little stand-up Kindle. How cool is that? We have some field notes for the road. This is dot grid. And the reason dot grid is great is because it gives you a little bit of guidelines if you're writing, but also allows you to sketch and have a bit of a grid here. We've got the Fisher Space Pen to go along with that as well. So that cap comes off, then you've got a nice longer pen to work with. It's pretty lightweight. And then you have a little bit of a key ring here, which is nice if you want to hang it on anything. And then we have a small Joby GorillaPod going on here. So this can easily fit your smartphone, which is great. They do actually make an even smaller version, but we found that the legs are really nice and gives you some added versatility. If you want to wrap it around a pole or something like that, or just adjust it on some rougher terrain, but you've got that for your smartphone, which is really handy and slick. Now we have the Jabra Elite 65Ts, and the great thing about these is that they're noise canceling, so it's perfect for the plane, and they're still in a small form factor. Another great thing to talk about with these is that there's a pass-through audio format. So there's microphones in the outside, and then it filters in noise coming into the inside while you're on a call or something like that, so you can sort of hear yourself speak and you're not yelling because they're noise canceling and your ears are basically plugged. So that's a nice feature to have. And then we have the Anker PowerCore 2, which will charge your phone about 2 to 4 times depending on the size of it. It's really great. Recharges via micro USB, and then there's a nice LED indicator as to how much power you have left inside of this thing. Before I forget, I'll throw my phone in here too so we can see how that's packed. This is a bonus item, but it's really rad for anybody that wants to make music on the road. This is the OPZ, which is the new version of the Teenage Engineering OP1. So it's a really small form factor here, and you can make some beats and synthesize them on the road. I really love the form factor of this thing. It's super small and just exciting to have. Definitely don't need to have that to complete this list, but it is an option to you if you like making music on the road. MacBook chargers are a pain to travel with. However, we prefer to use the longer cord so that if you're in a coffee shop or a co-working space, you have that extra slack. So the Sidewinder here keeps everything nice and tight and compact. Even though it does add a little bit more bulk, it makes that bulk more manageable. To undo it, you just pull the sides, and then when you're ready, you just twist it closed. There you go. Now I want to talk a little bit about dongles. So the MacBook Pro 15-inch has only USB-C. So we have this singular giant Anker dongle here that connects via USB-C and then has 3 USB-A ports, an HDMI port, and an Ethernet port at the end. With this system in mind, we wanted to keep the most minimal amount of cords possible. So we just have 2 USB-A cables from Anker here. They're the shortest ones that they offer. And then you'll also see here that we have an Apple Lightning attachment as well. So with these 3 items, you can charge everything on the table here. The Lightning cable goes to the mouse, the keyboard, the phone. The micro USB powers the Jabra, the PowerCore 2, and the Kindle as well. Generally, and where the world is right now, USB-A is just a little bit more versatile as well. So a lot of hotel TVs will have USB-A, a lot of like random hostel computers might have them, and a lot of fellow travelers that you meet on the road will likely have those ports available as well. So these USB-A cables keep you versatile. In addition to that dongle, in order to make the micro USB cables as slick as possible, we also have a USB-C to female micro USB, and then we have a USB-C to USB-A dongle as well. So you'll be covered basically for any combination that you end up rolling with while you're on the road. We've got a really small flash drive here. You just never know when you're gonna need one of these. Personally, I have used one in the Thailand airport when I couldn't transfer my Visa photo to their printer via Wi-Fi. Luckily, I found somebody else with one of these thumb drives and they were able to help me out. And now I just never leave home without one of these things. Then we have the Griffin PowerJolt Micro, and this is a handy little device if your rental car or anywhere that you are doesn't have a USB cable. So you can stick this in through the adapter and you're good to go. Not every rental car will have USB yet as you're traveling around the world. So it's nice to have that as an option. Next, we have the MacBook Lightning to headphone jack adapter, and that's just good to have if you end up losing the Jabras or any other of your headphones. It's nice just to be able to head to a store and grab some kind of headphones that you can use. Then we have the Kickerland Travel Adapter. So it's one of the smallest adapters that we've been able to find to date. Works on just about every outlet in the world, and it's hyper packable and compressible as well. Then we have 2 more cables on the side. This is the Cable Matters Cat 5 Ethernet cable. So that's nice to have when the Wi-Fi isn't that good or you need to physically jack in. Some countries will have this. It's just nice to have a lot faster speeds, and that can plug right in through this Anchor dongle that we went over prior. Next up, there is a retractable HDMI cable from Cable Matters. This is good for two things. One, if you want to hook up your computer to your hotel room TV, a lot of them will have HDMI input. And then it's nice for any meetings that you have where you can plug in, make the display a little bit bigger and give a presentation. And then we have the GE grounded outlet tap. It is a cable splitter. People at the coffee shop or the co-working space will dig you when you pull this out because you can free up 2 extra outlets for other people to use. Then you can use one yourself. So now if we're gonna pack all this up, these items go into the laptop compartment of the Air Travel Pack 2. So I'll show you how that works in a second. But throwing all the tech gear in, we have 2 smaller pouches here. So these are the Topo Designs accessory pouches. This is good for smaller items. So I like to keep everything compartmentalized in there. Power Jolt Micro, all these little dongles. Just keep those separate and organized within there. And then we have the larger Topo Design accessory bag as well. And that's gonna take on some of the larger items. The Anchor dongle comes with its own case. So we'll pop that in, that micro cable in there too. And everything kind of nicely lays flat in here. So you just pop that down in a column. We'll toss in the Magic Mouse. Usually pop this guy in the small one too. Now this little guy gets left in the sling along with the lightning cable and along with the battery pack. So that is a daily carry item that can be carried around. I'll show you how that works out in a second. Personal care and toiletries, let's take a look at everything going on here. So the first to check out is the Wall Compact Travel Trimmer. And go take a look at that review. It was the first video we ever done. I'm a little bit embarrassed by it, but I'm gonna leave it up. So go take a look at that review. Love this little thing, it's small, runs off of AA batteries as well. You can find AA batteries basically in any country in the world, so it's very versatile. Next up, we have a stainless steel comb from Fendrahan, and you can basically keep this thing forever. So you know when you see a ton of combs just laying on the side of the road or the beach and it's kind of disgusting, this one you may take a little bit more care of since it is stainless. Next up, the Quip toothbrush. So this is not the best electronic toothbrush out there. However, it is the most compact, best electronic toothbrush out there. And if you want to take anything else on the road with you, it's going to be like 4 times the size. So if you want like a Philips Sonicare, which is a really solid toothbrush, that's going to be a little bit too big. So this keeps it slick and minimal. Also comes with its own case as well, so that's great to have. Next up, some small nail clippers from Victorinox. So these things are seriously tiny, they lay flat, and they're good to pack. Then we have 2 go-to pluses going on here, and the first is Granger's Merino Wool Wash. So that's important to have on the road. With all that merino, it's important to be taking care of that clothing in the correct way. Then we have toothpaste in this go-to plus. And the nice thing about the 3.4 ounce size or the 100 milliliter size is the max amount of liquid that you can carry on via TSA guidelines. So you are good to go here, the max amount of liquid you can carry. Also, having the toothpaste inside of that go-to plus is great because you're not constantly squeezing the tube over and over again. And then you know you have the max amount with you possible at 3.4 ounces. Then we have a Ziploc quart-size baggie with a Velcro fastener on the outside. You could totally just use a rubber band for this. But the reason that I like to carry one of these along with me is that although it's an official TSA rule to put your liquids in a clear size, quart-size baggie, they don't necessarily always check that. So I like to keep the Go Tubes with the liquid inside of the DOP kit itself, and then just have this as a backup if they do ask me to put it into a quart-size baggie. Then we have some first aid items over here, nothing too crazy. We have some safety pins, a tweezers, some bandages, and some antiseptic. All of it inside of the Tom Bin pouchkin, which gives you some nice compartmentalization and organization. And then we get onto the Go Tubs of different sizes. So this larger one has hair pomade in it. You know, you gotta do your hair, plus you got the comb. And then 2 smaller Go Tubs for any medication needed on the road. Both of these right now have Advil in them. But if I were to, you know, travel to someplace where I needed, for instance, malaria pills, I would split them up in that way. And one quick tip there is that with any type of prescription on the road, if you do use a separate container, make sure to bring your prescription documentation with you. I recommend keeping that near a passport so that it's on you at all times. Now we have the Matador flat pack soap bar case going on over here with a solid Dr. Bronner's Tea Tree soap bar. And That's really great to have with you on the road. It's Castile soap, so it lasts a really long time as well. Plus it's solid, so it doesn't count against your liquid allowance. Next up, we have the Matador Small Microfiber Towel, and that's nice to have if you're working out and you sweat a lot. I've even used a towel of this size to towel off in a hostel when I didn't have any towels available. So you can use it in a pinch if you need to dry off as well. Silicone case is nice, so everything inside of it can kind of dry even as you compact it away and maybe hang it on the outside of your pack. Now we have Crystal deodorant, which is great because it's in a black case and it sticks with a color theme, but also because it lasts a really long time and it's a solid. So it's a literal rock in here. And what it does is it basically extracts the mineral salts onto your body and then helps prevent you from sweating and helps with the odor a little bit. So still kind of in the testing phases of Crystal deodorant. So far, I'm really digging it. Plus it's gentle on merino wool, where a lot of other deodorants, especially antiperspirants, kind of get caked onto the merino. It's just not a good look overall. So Crystal deodorant is a good option there. And then we have this small travel razor handle from Parker Shave Club. And it's nice because it accepts standard Gillette sizes. You can find these basically all over the world. So it's really great to have access if you run out or you need more. We've got a cartridge here as well that we travel with. However, it's just nice to have that flexibility because no matter what country you're in, they're probably gonna have this attachment. Now we're gonna pack everything up into the Air Travel Kit, and this is a really great size for a DOP kit or a toiletry kit. It's not too big, it has a low profile, which is great overall. So starting with the top here, we're gonna pop in this quart size baggie. Then on the back, we're gonna put all the first aid items. Now one thing I wanna mention here is the hook at the top of this. So it's really nice. If you're running out of counter space, you can just hang this on a towel rack or on the side of the counter, and then you free up that counter space. Look at that, it's so nice. They just kind of hug each other. It fits in so nicely. So that's that for personal care and toiletries. And then the Matador towel is gonna go elsewhere on the Air Travel Pack 2. We'll get to that in a second. Now we'll get to the last miscellaneous items going on here. So starting with the Vapure Eclipse water bottle. This thing is a super compressible water bottle, holds 1 liter of water, and it's great to have on the road. It easily packs away when not in use. And then we have some small chopsticks from Integral Design going on here. So you just take those off, put it into chopstick mode. These are nice to have on the road because if you forget utensils or you don't want to use a million different wooden chopsticks, it's less wasteful overall and it's convenient. Next up, we have the Night Eyes S-Beaner. This is great for hanging up any additional items, maybe the Matador towel while it's drying as well. And then for a flashlight, we have the Prometheus Lights Beta QR V2, and that QR stands for quick release. Sometimes it's nice to have a flashlight with you while you're on the road, in addition to your iPhone flash. And the nice thing about that is that it's standalone. So if you want to hang this up anywhere where you need some light, you don't necessarily need to rely on your phone or your phone's battery to do that. Something else from Matador, they make really great little packable gear, and these are their earplugs. So it's nice, there's a little silicone case here. Just pop them out when you need them. And there's a nice little keychain option as well. Then we have the Gerber Shard over here. It's nice to have some type of tool with you on the road that can help out, even if you want to tighten a wobbly stool, fix a wobbly table, or maybe fix a drawer handle in an Airbnb that you're at. I could go on, but definitely have found great value of having small micro tools like this on the road, as long as the tools on it are useful for multiple things. Next up, we have the Hero Clip, which basically looks like a standard carabiner. However, there is additional functionality that you can use to hang your bag on a table or somewhere else if you don't want it directly on the ground. Going on the same vein as food, we have the Tokes ultralight stainless steel spork as well. So kind of going along with those chopsticks. Nice to have one of these if you forget utensils or you just don't want to use a million disposable utensils on the road. This is definitely nice to have. We also have the Bellroy Passport Sleeve, which is good because there are 2 card slots, so you can fit 2 to 4 cards in here. There's a small pen for filling out those pesky customs forms. Nice to have that there. Super tiny, super convenient. Love that they've thought through this and included that. That's awesome. There's a small folder back here, so I have my vaccinations here. This is a good place to put your prescriptions if you are carrying anything that you need to take. And then there's a nice little feature on this as well. So you pull this up and the passport comes directly out. Bicycle mini playing cards, one of the best way to make friends on the road. If you find somebody new and you want to just hang out with them, why not play a game of cards? These are mini size, which are more packable. And then we have the Orbit key over here with a couple of things going on inside. First of all, one key for the apartment. I try not to travel with more than one key because it adds extra space and weight. Next up, we have the Orbit key travel kit. So you take that right out. Then you have a SIM card remover for your phone. There's also enough room in here to fit 2 additional SIM cards. So those are always a pain to keep track of when you're on the road. And when you go from country to country, if you don't have an international phone plan, and sometimes it's even just cheaper to get a local SIM card, great to have that option and great to have one place where all your SIM cards can live. And lastly, another micro tool from Orbit Key that's a bottle opener. You have a little wrench area here, and then the top can be used as a flathead as well, or for like opening boxes. I like to have a lot of those tools wherever, just so they're handy and I can get access to them quickly. Lastly, the Tom Bin NYX Minimalist wallet here, and this is really great for a couple reasons for travel. So first of all, there are 2 separate card partitions for each side. So I usually do personal up top here, and then business on the back. There's a see-through area for any IDs so you can get quick access to them. And then there's enough space on the outside to fold your bills and put them in. And even if you have currency of larger size, it can just kind of hang over a little bit like that, and it's totally fine because no matter where you travel, there's different size currency everywhere, and sometimes it's a pain to find a wallet that can fit every size. So that's everything on the list with the exception of the Heimplanet Transit Travel Line Sling, and that's really great to put some of these items into, these more daily carry items, things that you want to take out of your bag and just take around with you for the day. So let's pack this up, starting with the Bellroy passport sleeve. That goes in this zippered compartment in the back, and that just zips right up from this side here. And then I like to add the Matador earplugs onto the zipper pull so I know where they are all the time. The right side gets the Anker PowerCore 2 10,000. The left gets the Tom Bin Minimalist wallet. And then there's a top compartment here for the Orbit key. Then you've got the Jabra headphones that go up here in this corner. And then I like to keep one micro USB cable here as well next to the battery pack so that can be used along with the phone when you're out and about. And that covers the main compartment, so we just zip that up. And then I like to put this carabiner clip on the bottom as well, because you never know when you're gonna need to hang something off of your sling. There's the sling. Now to pack up the Air Travel Pack 2, we'll start by popping the shoes in. So there's a nice dedicated shoe compartment at the bottom here. Next up, the Peak Design packing cubes in the main leader compartment. One little detail that you'll notice with these Peak Design packing cubes is that I've used different colored paracord on each so I can tell the difference. This light blue colored paracord is something that I added, and that tells me that it's my tops, and then this is my bottoms in this cube as well. So nice to have that little differentiation so you can quickly know what's what. Next, we'll pop the toiletry kit into the main compartment. It is a tight squeeze here, but there's a little extra room as this shoe compartment can compress down a little bit if you have flexible enough shoes. Then we'll pop the GoRuck tack hat at the top mesh area here. You can use this pocket if you'd like, however, it can remain flat as well. You'll see in a second, once we put the jackets in here, it's gonna eat up some of that space. The outerwear fits in very nicely to this bottom pocket. It's getting so high, like I can barely see my face over this thing. Now the tech gear can be loaded back here. So we pop the laptop in. And then there's actually just a perfect amount of space on the side for the roost stand, and it fits really nicely with a 15-inch laptop. Then we have the keyboard as well. Now is a good time to clip and compress that main compartment. Now I had asked Alan over at Air why they decided to put a D-ring here, and now I think I know why, because the Hero clip fits just about perfectly there. The thing that I like about the Air Travel Pack 2 is there is just the right amount of organization in the pack as well. So for the remaining items that didn't make it into pouches or DOP kits, we're just gonna pop those in here as well. Towards the bottom, the MacBook Pro charger with the Sidewinder. Topo Designs accessory pouch with all the tech gear. Inside of this zippered compartment, there's a small keychain lanyard. I like to put a couple things on there. So things that maybe don't need as much use as what you keep inside of a sling. We'll pop the Vapure in here as well. Chopsticks. And since we're all about one bag travel, you can definitely use this sling separately. Just want to let you know that it also fits inside as well. So there you have it, a fully packed Air Travel Pack 2. Everything here comes in at about 28 pounds, which is really quite heavy. So definitely feel free to ditch a couple things if you'd like, but wanted to show a wide variety of what can all fit inside of this 33-liter bag. Also keep in mind, you'll be wearing and using some of these items while you're on the road. So not everything is going to be this fully packed at all times, but I wanted to pack everything inside to prove a point that it can all fit on the inside. So you might have that sling, you might be wearing that sling. You're definitely going to be wearing a pair of pants and shoes and the boxers, and just a lot of other items are going to be worn by you, which will help reduce the weight and then allow you to travel with a little bit of empty space here if you do pick up anything extra when you're on the road. If you watched this until the very end, congratulations. Please leave a comment below because we love chatting with people that love travel gear. Remember, the full digital Nomad packing list is available over on packhacker.com. So be sure to go check that out. It's a quicker summary. You can see the items a little bit more clearly and it's easy to follow along. So thanks for checking this packing list out. We'll have more in the future. We'll see you in the next video.